Do you ever feel like starting a business is an uphill battle, especially when it comes to branding? Like there's this secret club of designers and marketing gurus, and you're stuck outside, trying to piece together a professional image with duct tape and good intentions? I know I have. For years, the idea of creating a cohesive, eye-catching brand for my ventures felt like an insurmountable hurdle. I'd spend hours on Pinterest, admiring beautiful logos and polished websites, only to feel overwhelmed and utterly deflated when I tried to translate those ideas into something of my own. The cost of hiring a professional designer was often prohibitive, and the DIY tools I found online felt clunky, limited, or just plain confusing. This isn't just about a logo, right? It's about identity. It's about making that crucial first impression that tells potential customers who you are, what you stand for, and why they should trust you. In today's crowded digital landscape, a strong brand isn't a luxury. It's a necessity. Think about it. When you see a successful company, what's one of the first things that comes to mind? Their logo, their colors, their overall aesthetic. These elements communicate professionalism, trustworthiness, and often, the very essence of their product or service. Without that strong visual anchor, you're just another voice in the noise. But what if there was a way to bypass the exorbitant design fees and the steep learning curve of complex design software? What if you could, with a relatively small investment of time and money, create a brand that looked like it was designed by a pro, even if your artistic talent extends only to stick figures? That's the promise of platforms like Tailor brands. They position themselves as the all-in-one solution for entrepreneurs, small business owners, and creators looking to establish a strong online presence without the headaches. They promise everything from logo design to website building, social media tools, and even business registration. Sounds pretty enticing, doesn't it? Well, that's exactly what caught my attention. Like many of you, I'm constantly on the lookout for tools that can streamline the entrepreneurial journey, especially when it comes to the less glamorous but equally crucial aspects of business building. I'd seen Tailor Brands ads, read some glowing reviews, and honestly, a part of me was skeptical. Could it really be that easy? Could I, someone with a decent eye but zero formal design training, generate a professional-looking brand in minutes? So, I decided to put it to the test. Not just a quick spin, but a full, in-depth exploration, from the very first step of logo creation to dabbling with their other features. This isn't a sponsored video. I'm not affiliated with Tailor Brands in any way beyond being a user. My goal is to give you an honest, no-holds-barred look at my experience. The good, the bad, and the sometimes surprisingly effective. By the end of this, you should have a clear picture of whether Tailor Brands is the right fit for your branding needs. Let's dive into the core offering first. The Logo Maker. This is undeniably Tailor Brands' flagship feature, and it's where most users begin their journey. The process itself is remarkably straightforward. You start by entering your business name and an optional slogan. Then, you provide some keywords that describe your business or industry. For example, if you're starting a coffee shop, you might enter coffee, cafe, brew, community. The AI then asks you to choose a logo style, icon-based, name-based, or initial-based. This is where the first real design decision comes in. Do you want a distinctive symbol, your business name front and center, or a stylized lettermark? Once you've made that selection, Tailor Brands AI gets to work. It rapidly generates a multitude of logo options, each varying in font, color palette, and icon choice, if you opted for an icon-based logo. This is where the magic is supposed to happen, and I have to admit, it's pretty impressive to see the sheer volume of designs it can churn out in a matter of seconds. It's like having a dozen designers working simultaneously, presenting you with a buffet of visual identities. Now, here's where the honest part comes in. Not every logo generated will be a masterpiece. In fact, a good portion of them might feel a bit generic, or not quite hit the mark. However, among the sea of options, you will almost certainly find a few that are genuinely good, even great. The key is to be patient and to be open to iterating. You can click on any logo you like to further customize it. This is where the real power of the editor comes into play. You can change fonts, adjust colors, swap out icons, and even modify the layout. One of the strengths of the editor is its user-friendliness. It's intuitive, even for someone with no design background. The options are clearly laid out, and the changes are reflected instantly. This real-time feedback loop makes the design process feel less like a chore and more like an interactive exploration. I particularly appreciated the ability to quickly cycle through different color palettes and font pairings. These subtle changes can dramatically alter the feel of a logo, and Tailor Brands makes it easy to experiment until you find something that resonates with your vision. However, a slight limitation I encountered was the depth of customization for icons. While you can search through a vast library of icons, you can't, for example, directly manipulate the lines or shapes within a pre-existing icon. This isn't a deal-breaker for most, but if you have a very specific, unique icon in mind that isn't readily available, you might find yourself wishing for more granular control. That said, for the vast majority of small businesses and startups, the existing library is more than sufficient. Beyond the logo, Tailor Brands offers a suite of other branding tools. Their brand kit is a particularly valuable feature. Once you've finalized your logo, Tailor Brands automatically generates a comprehensive brand guide. This includes your logo in various formats: PNG, SVG, EPS, different color variations, font selections, and even social media optimized versions. This is incredibly helpful for maintaining brand consistency across all your platforms. No more guessing what shade of blue your logo is, or scrambling to find the right file format for your website banner. It's all neatly packaged and readily accessible. With that said, thanks for watching, and until next time.